Hi, welcome to Politics with Gen Z. My name is Quintarius, and this is Politics with Gen Z. I just want to start off by saying I want to talk about something that a lot of people don't understand. And it's okay not to understand it because I'm just learning about it too. Okay, so a lot of people are like, well, why haven't Biden done this? Why haven't President Biden, I should say. Let's be clear on that. Why hasn't President Biden done this, done that? And it's a lot of stuff that I don't think that he should use his executive order to do, because just like he's undoing everything Donald Trump is doing, the next president can come and undo everything he's done. So if he wants it, like if he wanted to do all this radical stuff, he could do it. But guess what? The next person can come and be like, I don't like this. This is not what America stands for. I want to use my executive power to undo everything President Biden did. Guess what? That's basically, it's a waste of time, honestly. So what I think people should start doing is putting pressure, not threatening. Let's be very clear, not threatening, but they should put pressure on their state officials, their state United States Congress members, to bring some of these things that they want to the floor. If you want student debt eliminated, contact your U.S. Congress member to have these things talked about, because the fact of it's certain stuff that Joe Biden doesn't have the power to do. He cannot make laws. As crazy as that sounds, that's only for the legislative branch, which is Congress and the Senate. Yes, he does have powers to make executive orders. But, like I said, those executive orders can be taken out within literally a day of a new president being in office. So I think it's unproductive to be doing. But one thing I can say he should be doing is introducing new bills to the Congress that he thinks should be passed. And it's up to them. And we need to. And I think this generation is so bent on who's the president, we're not even recognizing who we're putting in Congress and in the Senate. This is the first time that I've seen people care who's in the Senate with John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. So the thing is, I really believe that it's all about your Congress members. Are they voting the way that you guys elected them to do? Because it's your responsibility to hold these people accountable. Not just Joe Biden, President Biden, let me correct myself, and not Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. It's more than them in this game, guys. It's more than them. So, and also, I want to talk about this too. It's a lot of stuff that I see people talking about that they want done. And some of this stuff is not up to the federal government. It's up to your state government. So the people that you're choosing to represent your district as a state representative, it's up to those people. It's not up to the federal government. The federal government is not in control of whether or not your state legalized marijuana. No. That's up to your state government. So if you want marijuana legalized, go find candidates in your state that wants the same thing and make sure that they win. And make sure that in other districts, those people win too, so y'all can have the majority. Because a lot of people don't realize, okay, your state might be blue when it comes up to U.S. representatives, U.S. senators, and the presidents of the United States, but it's not blue when it comes up to state representatives, state senators, and state governors, sorry. But yeah, that's one thing I think everybody should realize. A lot of things that you guys want done, the president of the United States cannot do. It's up to either the U.S. Senate and U.S. Congress, or it's up to your state representatives and your state senators. Joe Biden cannot do every single thing. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. But some things Joe Biden did do was he cut funding to DOJ private prisons. I'm not sure how I'm pronouncing it, but I can explain it a little better. So he's cutting funding for future contracts. He's not ending private prisons. I mean, it's a start, but it's not perfect in no way, shape, or form. ICE is still fully enabled by the DOJ. Private prisons are still being run. They're just not getting a new contract with the DOJ, if you understand. I mean, I'm not here to downplay anything he's doing. I'm just stating what's happening with a little of my opinion. Also, the Senate, they had this little vote to see whether or not they should take on the impeachment trial of Donald J. Trump, former President Donald J. Trump. I like to say that, former president. Yeah, and I don't know why it's so surprising to people, but 45 senators, Republican senators, said that they should not have a trial because it's unconstitutional because of the fact that he's no longer president. But history shows us in 1876, William Blount, a senator, was expelled from office, but they still had an impeachment trial for him. So yes, they're able to. The Republicans just don't want to. And I'm going to get into my personal belief on why they do not want to hold an impeachment trial on Donald Trump. Okay, so they know this is going to be in the history books. Either the Republican Party is going to come out looking like, okay, we held him accountable, or they're going to go in the history books for not holding him accountable because of the fact of they know that their voters are Trump supporters. So a lot of them don't want to hold him accountable because they want to hold their power. It's nothing else. It's no ands, buts about it. This is literally what's happening. They're just like, okay, I want to stay in the Congress. And the best way for me to stay in Congress, when I say Congress, I'm talking about like the Senate too. But the best way for them to stay is just like, say he didn't do anything. Which is insane. Because when Nixon did what he did, those senators were bold and said that he did wrong. And the American people believed them. And these Republicans are like, so I don't know the correct language to use when describing how much they're in doo-doo right now because they don't know what to do. They having in-party fighting, and at this point, if they're having in-fighting party, I would suggest Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer get that progressive bills that they want to pass out now, because there's so much fighting going on. I believe that the Republican Party will vote against their own beliefs just to piss off somebody in their party right now, because that's how bad it's getting. And I want to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't really want to talk about her, but I feel like it's necessary so y'all know what's going on in the Republican Party. She's a QAnon follower. And let me just say this. I after having conversations with some of my peers, I came to the understanding the people that's in QAnon are really normal people. They're scared. They're just scared. And some of them, let me get this correct. Some of them aren't scared. They just don't want change in America. And we've always had people in America that just didn't want change. But guess what? Change is always going to happen whether people want it or not. We had a black president. We got a female vice president that's black. So change is always going to happen And there's always going to be opposition to change. But with the QAnon stuff, they're incorporating religion into it. So people really, God-fearing people really believe this stuff. And I just genuinely believe that some of these people are redeemable, but they're so lost. And I don't want to sit here and, because I know in other videos I've like kind of said some bad stuff about them, but I don't want to do that any longer because I know some of these people are literally lost in the sauce. They don't know what to believe. They're probably scared of me and you. Not because of fault of their own. It's literally people in the Republican Party right now that's pushing these conspiracy theories. And yes, let me get back to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sorry, I got thrown off. So Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a Republican from Georgia, U.S. Congress representative. I don't know which district, but she is the Congress member. She decided that, and I don't know what year she did this, but it was before she was elected in Congress, that she was going to chase down one of the Parkland school shooters and ask him why he's asking for amendments on the gun rights. Second Amendment. And she's telling him all type of stuff. It was very ridiculous for an adult to be chasing a teenager who just survived a school shooting, asking him why he was advocating for more basically gun safety rules for gun owners. That's what she was doing. And also, they found like old Facebook posts where she liked posts calling for the killings of like prominent Democrat leaders like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and stuff like that. I want to say this. I know that people do stuff in the past and they don't mean it. However, there's been other members in Congress that did lesser offenses and they've been kicked out. And not only that, she also believes people in the government are eating children. Yeah. And she also believes, and this is basic QAnon stuff, that 9/11 was a setup. All the kids' school shootings were setups. That the government basically did this to brainwash us in some type of way. I don't honestly know what way that they did this, because at the end of the day, after Sandy Hook happened, after Parkland shooting happened, you guys still own your guns. Nobody took away your guns. Yes, it's more people advocating for gun rights, but nobody's calling for every American not to have a gun. So I don't understand how they could say it was a setup. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that. But I do think that there should be consequences to her actions. And I don't think what is his name? Kevin McCarthy is gonna do anything. At this point, I'm gonna say this, but I don't mean it in a bad way. Just sit back and watch the Republican Party. They're gonna self-destruct. And I do not mean that in a way of, okay, I'm glad they're self-destructing. I'm saying that in a way of nobody's in control of the party anymore. At all. You know, when Obama was in office, Mitch McConnell and I don't know the other guy's name, but I do know Paul Ryan. They made sure that they were all in line. If they didn't want Obama to pass something, guess what? The vote is no. But once Donald Trump came into office, it became Trump It became Trump's party. And I don't feel like people understand how devastating that was for the Republican Party. We're not going to actually understand how bad this is until a couple of years from now. And I think in a couple of years from now, some Republicans will take responsibility about what's happening and what had happened. I just want to leave on saying this. America is not going anywhere no time soon. And I don't think it's okay for the Republican Party to try to okay, let me start over. Their talking point for the election in 2022 is going to be this: we're being censored. If you don't want to be censored, vote for us. It's going to be that in some type of way. And I just want to say this: you cannot say you're being censored when you're talking to millions of people on Fox News. You cannot say you're being censored when you have over 900,000 followers on Twitter. You cannot say you're being censored when you're able to write a book and sell it. So I don't think it's okay for the Republican Party to continue to run their campaigns on fear. Where is the policy? I have not heard a single policy in the last... Actually, I haven't heard policy in like 4 years, but I would like to hear policy. That's the only reason why I'm voting for Democrats. Because I hear policy. Outside of y'all calling them socialists and communists and all type of stuff that Republicans are saying, they're still talking about policy while you're trying to cause hysteria over fear. I forget which president says this, but fear nothing but fear itself. And that's how I'm going to end that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with Politics with Gen Z. My name is Quintarius, and it was such an honor for you to tune in. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it.